Hey everybody, Wes McDonald here, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of West Wonders. What's got me wondering today is, does the definition of a monopoly have to change in the age of big tech? Recently in the news, a certain president of a certain country was actually shut out of Twitter, Facebook, and other social media platforms, which effectively shut down their communication with all of their followers. Now, this is not a political channel. I'm not getting into if that's right or wrong, but effectively, there are powers there with these technology companies now which have never existed in the past. And I would argue, not even with the typical telecommunication companies such as AT&T or Bell or others. So that's number one. Another example, obviously, which is pretty big right now, is Parler. And Amazon effectively, by shutting them out of their servers, is shutting down their business. So these are big impacts. Some numbers, I do like numbers. Guess who belongs to the $1 trillion club? 4 companies. 3 of them start with an A, so maybe my next company I'll actually start with the letter A. Alphabet, also known as Google, Apple, Amazon, and the only non-A letter company is Microsoft. Each of them worth over $1 trillion in their valuations. Apple had net sales in 2019 of $260 billion, Alphabet for $162 billion, Amazon at $280 billion. Now here's a big question to consider. What do all 4 of those companies have in common, other than being part of the $1 trillion? How did they get there? The answer? Look up. All of them are growing phenomenally because of their cloud services. So, for us in the channel, the question we have to ask is, are they too big to fail? Are they a monopoly? Some would argue that they're not, because when you look at cloud services, there are several companies that have pretty large infrastructures. If you look at communications, there are alternatives to Twitter, say for example, such as Parler. But are they effectively dominating that space to the point and just leaving enough of a gap for enough competitors to be in the space to maintain their legitimacy? Think about your own lives for a second. I am a big user of Amazon services. I use them both for my entertainment. I watch Amazon Prime television. I use them obviously for purchasing things, as most people watching this probably do. For Google, I use their email services. I can't get anywhere without their GPS services now. I also use them for photos. So really, at the end of the day, we are so hooked into them. Could we break these companies up even if we wanted to? Would the benefit help us in the channel to be able to compete against these large entities? Or are we so ingrained now in these technology companies that the damage would be too great to fail? So, monopoly on one hand, or too big to fail? You tell me. I look forward to your comments. And thanks again for tuning in to another episode of West Wonders. And until next time, keep wondering.